is up? Welcome to Talking Touchdowns, brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm your host, Spread Astaire, joined today by Kurt, the Euro guru, the man with the football experience, and a man who's been picking winners with us all year here. I said, this is a tough slate, Kurt. I could not wait to talk to you about it. It's not a week where you can just plug projections in and bet your numbers. There's so much going on. I don't want to complain about adding the extra week, but I mean, I knew it was stupid when it happened. Like, what was the point? Really, what was the point of adding an extra week of football here?
Man, it's messy.
And it's messy, and there's a lot of games where the teams are just waiting for next week. Overall, your thoughts on this week 17 slate, how you're approaching it, and then we'll dive in and do it game by game.
I mean, I think it's definitely a week where you kind of don't want to go too crazy. Like, I have some restraint, have some dignity with this one. You know, we're almost to the playoffs where we can kind of start upping our units because we have a lot more narratives, a lot more stuff to play for. So kind of just maybe go a little bit lighter this week and get ready to just dump it all into the playoffs and stuff like that.
Yeah, West Coast thinks that Chicago, Detroit's going to be really popular there in DFS. Do you agree? And are you going to play that chalk if that's how it turns out, or are you going to try and get different?
Yeah, I mean, that's been fun all week. I mean, both the defenses are ass, and it's back in the dome.
Detroit's defense has improved to average during that little winning streak. I mean, they're not good, right? They're not like
it's not like we're really
Ravens, but
yeah, it's not like we're targeting like receivers heavily against like for Chicago. So it's mostly just, do we think Fields can run around the field on them? And the answer is yes.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, we'll talk about some strategy there. You know, I did the Wishbone with JT and Holden earlier this week, and
everyone's favorite pod.
I thought it was an interesting week as far as the builds. Usually the builds, you know, maybe I've been listening to Big T too much, right? But usually doesn't always win, right? You know, sometimes, you know, it's terrible, but it feels like, okay, I know how I want to do it. This is the position I want to spend up for. This is the position where I'm going to punt or fade, or I'm going to go balanced. I didn't feel that way this week. You know, usually I'm pretty sure, like, I want to spend up for wide receiver or I want to spend up for running back this week. And I don't think it's as clear cut this week. So we'll get into that and talk about that as we're breaking down these games from a betting perspective. Tyler will be joining us, not here yet, but fortunately he and I did do the betting playbook. So when we made the playbook, you know, I did have his input, and he went over the numbers with me to go ahead and see where he thought that I misprojected some of these games. And I think that could be easy with some of these moving parts. But I think two teams that we're pretty clear about and two teams that have something to play for is the first one we're going to talk about. The Carolina Panthers are now plus 3.5 offshore at Bookmaker. The total is 40.5. Panthers are plus 163 on the money line. Kurt, you're a Tampa Bay fan. I've heard some great debates over this week. You know, the best thing I think about the NFL season is that, you know, because it's a weekly sport, we get these podcasts, we get to hear these debates, and they actually talk about the games and not just who's going to get traded. NBA. I've heard great things on both sides, right? And a good argument that I heard for the Buccaneers is, hey, you know, the look ahead on this was like 6.5. Right. And now it's down to 3.5 because Carolina had a good game over the Detroit Lions. The good argument for the Panthers is, hey, if you sort by, you know, week 11 on, the Panthers are a much better team than the Buccaneers, right? If we're just sorting by last 4 or last 5. So Panthers come in on better form. And then, of course, there's the Brady X factor where regardless of how many throws and how bad he looks for the first 56, 57 minutes of the game, those last 3 minutes, he just, you know, finds a way to get it done. And I don't think that can be discounted, right? I don't think there's a way you can mathematically account for a guy that like almost free rolling, right? I mean, like, let's say they lose this game and his legacy, he's still the best, right? Right. Yeah, so, I mean, it's not like he's under the same pressure of, say, the Carolina Panthers quarterback, Sam Darnold, who you can argue is playing for a job. He's playing for a job in the NFL. Sam Darnold was really close to being relegated to purely a backup or not even playing in the NFL, depending on his performance the next 2 weeks. Brady's legacy is secure. He's banging your ex-girlfriend. Life is great. So what do you think about this game between the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
First off, the thing that stood out to me most was the over-under. I feel like it's a little high. I mean, for teams, it's going to be like a playoff atmosphere, tight butthole kind of game. And 40 for these offenses, you don't think that's a little bit high? What's your numbers? What they're saying on that?
Let me pull that up right now. I was doing the NBA playbook right before we got on. Let me switch back to the NFL best playbook.
Especially for this season, 40 just seems like we could hit that under.
Where did I have this game?
And then why are you looking that up?
I have it at 38.
Yeah, so I mean, my God, I mean, we want to get that in now before people hammer that down because I'm pretty sure I saw yesterday Vita Vea is practicing, and Carolina has so much success running the ball. I'm telling, if you think you're going to do that shit with Vita Vea and this Tampa Bay defense, you might as well just pack your bags. You're not going to the playoffs. It ain't happening. Okay, Vita Vea is a god. He's a god. Top 5 running stopper in the history of the NFL. Period. He just can't stay healthy because he's made of glass. But if he's back, I mean, first of all, hammer the under and I think I might lay my Bucks here, and I don't even think they can score 17 points. I think it might be like 16-10 or 16-3 or something terrible like that. But
weather significantly impacted last week. That we don't have that issue this week, right?
I don't think there's any weather. No. I mean, Tampa, no, it's fine. It's still these offenses. I mean, like the game environment this is going to be like, this is a playoff game. It's a playoff atmosphere, and it's not like these offenses are elite. So I don't think you're going to want to gamble too much as far as downfield passing and stuff like that. So yeah, I like the under there, and then I think I'm going to lean my Bucks. But I mean, we can't score so many points, so it's not like I'm not loving laying 3.5. Got to be honest.
With everything that you're talking about, it sounds like this game is a scratch for DFS, or is maybe the guy flying under the radar that we should be targeting.
Look, I'm going to continue to play freaking Mike Evans until he scores a touchdown. I don't care. It's going to freaking happen one day. I don't know how this guy can score like 1 million touchdowns, and then all of a sudden they just don't give him fades anymore. Like when we're inside the green area, it's amazing. But it's been 11 games now. It's Mike Evans. You're not really getting that much of a discount. Same price has been like all year. So, yeah, he's actually priced up. Oh, wonderful. So I'm going to keep doing that. But besides that, no, because they got away from White again. They gave like 7% of the snaps to Fournette last week. Godwin 6,800.
That was weird. I had a buddy playing fantasy football, and he asked me Fournette or White, and I was like White, right? Because I saw White in all the cores, and I had put White in on a lineup that I built. Yeah, that was a rough.
They even asked the coach, and they was like they got away from him. I'm like, what?
To be fair, Fournette was playing well, right? I mean,
yeah, and I'm okay with 50-50. I'm okay with 50-50, but there's no reason running Lenny out there 7% of the snaps. Like, I don't care if he's playing well. Still, he'll be even better if you just give him 50% of the snaps and he's completely fresh. So,
yeah. All right.
Mostly a stretch.
So, we definitely think the under is the best play in this game.
Love the under.
And you lean towards the Buccaneers, and my projections had the Buccaneers as well. So, there you have it. Anything more on this game before we move on?
Nope, just the under.
Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson head to Washington to take on the Commanders. And Carson Wentz back in the lineup. What's going on there in Washington, man? We all thought, nobody in the locker room likes Wentz. The team plays better for Heineke. Supposedly Ron Rivera, it's funny because in the Carolina, he got the Riverboat Gambler nickname. So supposedly he just loves riding the hot hand, right? I could just imagine this guy on the riverboats just going to the hot table. Oh, everyone's over there on the craps table. I'm going to go there. Oh, this blackjack table's blowing up. Let me go play there. It's almost like you get the feeling he's doing the same thing with the quarterback play. It's an interesting decision. Carson Wentz is by far the more talented player, right? He's got a bigger arm, bigger guy. I know Heineke's mobile. I'd say Carson Wentz is even more mobile in the pocket. The thing that coming out with a lot of teams, and I think this is really came out with the Indy tenure, is that his teammates didn't like him. Interesting. I can imagine with a guy like that too, right? He grew up in a small town, so he was just, you talked about Vita Vea, they treated him like he was the man his whole life. Then he goes to North Dakota. He's the man, right? Big fish in a small pond. Probably no one's ever saying anything bad about him. Probably a little arrogant. Maybe this experience has humbled him. What do you think about Carson Wentz here? What do you think about these Commanders laying 2 against the Browns, who are coming off? We loved the Browns last week. I said I did good last week. That was the one that we got wrong. What was the Browns and the Saints? We had a really good week overall.
I mean, Njoku dropped a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
It was a good pass, but that's happened a couple of times. I mean, I know it's going to happen.
Doesn't it happen when it's ice cold though? Isn't it like catching a rock?
Bro, it wasn't even that was a great throw. He didn't really put it on a line. He kind of just perfect touch. I know it's hard to catch in the cold, but it's not like he was like, bah, laser. It was 15, 20 yards. He kind of put a little bit loft on it. It was perfect pass. I'm sure it was catchable. I'm pretty sure 9% of the time, anyone but Njoku and fucking Valdez-Scantling is going to catch that. So I don't think Watson's been playing that bad. I think it's been some crucial drops and crucial moments. I know drop passes are going to happen, but it just seems that since he's been back, it's been crucial moments in the game. So I'm going to keep riding the Browns, even though I'm 2-1 since Watson's return. But give me the Browns here. I do think Wentz will look pretty serviceable and better than Heineke, but I mean, I'm not laying points for the Commanders. I know how good their defensive line is, especially with Chase Young. He looked pretty healthy to me last week. Actually impressed me. But I'm going to ride my Browns. They've been profitable for me.
All right, so you're taking the Browns here. Same total, 40.5. Any thoughts on the total?
Yeah, I don't know. I can see it going both ways. So I'm going to stay away from the total.
How do you think about this game for DFS?
I'm just not pulling up the pricing here. I would like to see. I mean, the way you attack this Washington team is on the outside and with the receivers, but it looks like Cooper is – what did he practice today? Return limited practice. Cooper, 5,800. I'll take a stab. Peoples-Jones, 4,700. I'll take a stab, and then maybe we'll see what Njoku's at. I'm liking the receivers. Njoku, 4,100. Man.
Who is it? It's either JT or Uncle T. They hate Cooper on the road. And they were reading off his road splits on the wishbone. And I mean, it's just night and day.
And he's banged up too. So give me DPJ as your sub 5K receiver.
Okay.
4,700.
All right. And let me know as we go through this where you think that we should be spending up, because I've gone back and forth on it all week. On where you should spend up and where you should punt. So interesting situation there. But Kurt's taking the road team. He's taking the Browns. Are you just taking them straight up? Are you taking the money line? Are they knocking the Commanders out of the playoffs here?
I'll take a money line. Yeah, I think they win the game. That D line's so good, but damn it, they can't do everything.
I mean, Cleveland's D line's not bad.
Well, yeah, I know. And their offensive line's not that terrible. It's just I feel like a lot of people are scared of this Washington defensive front as they should be. But give me the Browns to win out right here. I might go if the weather's going off. I've been back and forth all week about going to this game, especially on New Year's, depending on how I feel on New Year's night. I really do want to get to that.
You're not going to this game.
I might. I've literally almost bought tickets 2 days ago. So
you're going to wake up on New Year's morning, a girl on each side of you, and get up and go drive, watch the Cleveland Browns versus Washington Commanders?
I got a little time to recover. We got to
all right.
1.
All right. All right, and I'm not going to mess up this week. The Steelers game got flexed. It's right here on my bookmaker, but I'm paying attention to the times. We're going to keep moving in chronological order, and we're going to talk about the New Orleans Saints, who are plus 6.5 in Philadelphia, taking on the Eagles with the total of 42. Let me flip over to my projections. I'm pretty sure. Yep. It was right on the Eagles. Actually, it was right on the Eagles here. Interesting spot, though. I think that it's a great situational spot for the Eagles, right? The Eagles coming off that tough loss, 40-34 to the Dallas Cowboys. I thought they could have won that game straight up. And so they definitely want to get some momentum back. Minshew, I don't want to say he's playing for something with Darnold, because I think he's pretty much established. He's going to have a backup job in this league for the next 10 years. Regardless of what happens this week, he just seems to be a fairly good player. And I think that people like him. I think they like being around him. And I think that means a lot for your backup quarterback. New Orleans coming off the big win, right? Everybody doubted them, myself included, this show included. We thought they were going to go outside. They're going to get punked outside the dome. Yeah. They can't play in cold weather. But they outsmarted us because they said, guess what, guys? We're not going to run. We're just not going to put a quarterback out there. We're just going to run. And it worked.
So Cleveland's run defense.
Yeah. Let's give them credit. But don't you think that, okay, and I know the Saints are still alive, but it's like a 3% chance for them to make the playoffs, right? So their season's done. They got a nice win. They're feeling good about themselves. It's New Year's weekend. They're probably thinking more about next season than right now. Philadelphia Eagles, I think, more have a statement to make. I know laying 6.5 is a lot, and I'm sure everything that I've already said is baked into this line, which is why my projections come pretty close. But to me, it's Eagles or pass here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm on that way too. I mean, we could bet it now, and then we could get news that Hurts is going to play the whole game. It's like, oh, okay, sweet, little added bonus.
He's not going to play. Do you really think he is?
I mean, he could. I'm saying like in that 10% chance. Like I think Minshew can easily cover this.
Yeah,
but we have the 10% chance we get Hurts for maybe even a half. I mean, shit, I like it. And like you said, pretty emotional win last week. Now they're going back on the road, back to the east. Up east, I guess. New Orleans. I have no idea where New Orleans is, honestly. Beside Texas.
Wait. You don't know where New Orleans is?
I know they're in between Texas and Florida, but as far as like where Mississippi is and stuff, I have no idea. But they're back to the East Coast. They're back to the cold weather, even though they just dominated it last week.
It's amazing. You always say amazing stuff on this show every single week.
I'm right. So Mississippi's closer to Florida, and New Orleans is probably on the left of that if you're just looking at a map. And then Texas is somewhere over here, and then obviously it's on the water.
This is fantastic content here.
Do you know what say it's beside?
I wish we could clip this right now.
Alabama. No, Alabama's a little bit more north.
Next up on Talking Geography, featuring Kurt.
Yeah. So give me the Eagles here with a little added bonus, and maybe we get Hurts for a little bit.
I don't think we see Hurts. I really don't. What's the reason to play him?
There's none. There's none at all.
Yeah. I think you roll. I think you roll with the Gardner. Let him cut the edges. Chat's loving this geography breakdown. All right, total 42. Any thoughts on the total?
Again, no, but I do like. Give me some Dallas Goedert here.
Is there a chance that New Orleans doesn't score?
I think I could see that.
Right, I mean, that's why I lean towards.
Like they can't just run Taysom down. They're like the Browns are terrible against the run, so it's like fuck it, let's just run Taysom down. So you can't do that against the Eagles.
Chat's loving the geography. All right.
I just now pulled it up.
Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona right next to California, taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Georgia, located on the southernmost part of the East Coast. In fact, they do have beaches out there in Georgia. Wait,
what game?
Am I wrong about that?
What game are we talking about?
The Falcons and the Cardinals.
They're what's it called? They're capped. They're inland. Wait, yes.
See,
because South Carolina.
You've seen all these places. I've never been to Atlanta.
South Carolina caps them, I'm pretty sure.
I can't imagine you.
Yes, they're inland.
You have a good time. Have you been to Atlanta before?
Yes.
I can imagine. I can imagine you being real popular there.
Oh, isn't that where Magic City? No, they got Magic City
in Atlanta.
Yeah, they got it.
Why do you think we always like taking the Hawks at home, especially when they sucked?
Makes sense.
Because teams would overlook them like crazy.
I've only been once. I liked it.
The Falcons are -3 against the Cardinals. Another game that I've heard great arguments on both sides, right? It really depends. I mean, so the Cardinals, they get the big boost with Colt McCoy. I wanted Trace McSorley to be good. We don't always get what we want. He's not very good. Right? Colt McCoy's a big upgrade there. The Atlanta Falcons going with Desmond Ridder. I don't know. Maybe some people want him to be good. I don't really care about him. I just don't think he's very good at all. One thing he's doing is peppering Drake London more with targets.
Yes.
So I think that gives him a boost. JT also said we can't ignore Tyler Algiers here when we're looking at building these lineups. I also think this is a really tough game to bet. Two bad teams, both eliminated. Usually you would lean towards just taking the points with two bad teams. Right now, I just say completely stay away from this game. Am I missing some value on this game? Is there some sort of matchup you're seeing? Maybe, Atlanta can run the ball on the Cardinals because that's what they like to do the most. Cardinals get loose on the air against the Falcons defense. It isn't the most tough. What do you think?
I'm going to go to the points. Give me the call. I think getting that veteran quarterback back is pretty massive. And, man, Ridder, he does pepper London, but, boy, does he stinky. And J.J. Watt looked fantastic in the run against the Bucs. I mean, it's coming down to his final game, so, I imagine that just continues. He just absolutely causes havoc in the run game, too, and not even to mention the pressure on the quarterback.
Were you surprised that he retired?
Especially after, because he's had a great year.
This is his best year. He did better than last year.
Not to
Not
mention,
his
like,
best year, but he did better than last year.
yeah, it has to be because of the kid. He probably just like, I want to stay home more, deal with these injuries and shit, and like, I mean, they just not
You
had a
think he's
baby.
sick of TJ tweeting him every Sunday or texting him every Sunday, like, bro, look how much better I am than you?
Shit, he might retire for a couple years and come back and play one more. If Pittsburgh got a quarterback or something, I could see him randomly coming back and playing a year with Pittsburgh. That
would be tight if they were playing together, huh?
Yeah. Take 2 years off, rest the body. He'd probably still have a little juice in him. Just
Under Mike Tomlin. Oh my gosh, you're just getting me excited now, Kurt. Oh man,
you're a little closet Pittsburgh fan, aren't you?
I just like Tomlin. If he left, I wouldn't care at all.
I don't think he's leaving anytime soon.
What? I know. I don't either. I mean, the guy's just a stud. I'm working here. You saw that, right?
Yeah, that was funny.
I was like, he's already my favorite coach, and I'm like, now he's even more my favorite coach.
I don't hate the under here, but I'm really more focused on the 3.5 with the Cardinals.
You're going to take the plus 3.5?
Yeah.
It seems so. My projections to take the Falcons, and me and Tyler were talking about it. And we're like, no, it's like that. Who's the girl song? The girl who wanted to go to rehab is like, no.
Oh God.
No. Like, I'm not taking. Yeah, that's who it is. I'm not taking the Falcons here, even if my projections say so. So Kurt likes it, but are you betting this, or are you just saying, hey?
No, everything I actually have conviction on, I go in on bet after the show.
Do you have conviction on this game?
I mean, I think, look, Colt McCoy's not good, but having a veteran quarterback compared to McSorley is a big difference. I mean, he can run, and plus, like, he runs the offense. How Cliff wants the offense to be ran, they still have weapons. Like,
I think Hopkins is going to be real happy.
There,
he wasn't showing up McSorley, but he was obviously frustrated, right? Because you can see he's just like, give me a chance. Just give me a chance. You know, I mean, Hopkins can win those 50-50 passes, and they're just sailing out of bounds. I mean, they're not even close. So, all right, Cardinals are passed. Kurt likes the Cardinals. I think I'm happy to pass on that game.
I actually really like the 3.5, honestly, especially if Connor plays. I mean, they got weapons, and like when you have a veteran quarterback with weapons, like things can happen. I really like the 3.5.
Okay, so Kurt loves it. See, that's why I like talking about this, because I was just going to scratch that game off, But all right, Kurt likes the Cardinals. Love to hear it. This is a game that I'm like, okay, the season's too long. Well, the Jaguars and the Texans, right? But neither team cares. Well, the Jaguars don't care, right? I mean, it doesn't mean.
Why aren't they resting anybody?
Probably because you want to get game.
Oh wait, no, Jacksonville has that thing where it's like 8% chance to win the wild card if they lose next week, right? Hello?
Jacksonville has to win next week. I guess you're right. They're still alive for
but there's an 8% chance they can get the wild card if they win this. So
8 or 80?
8 or some shit.
Okay.
So I mean, like to executive, like to the front.
My guess is even if they had nothing. I think you still want to get your guys out there. Don't you want to get an extra week of reps against live ammunition? I think that's more important than the injury risk, don't you?
I mean, their body.
You don't want to take a week off at this point, do you?
I agree and disagree, but like, how long the season is now? Like, they're just. My sister was a trainer. Like, my god sister was a trainer at LSU, and even in college, she says you're just taping their body. Like, they're just done by the end of the year. Their bodies are just done. Playing this physical of a game, that many games, you're just done. So, like, I know they're a young team, but sometimes you just need the rest. But
do you think they'll treat it like a preseason game? Throw Trevor and those guys out there for a quarter, ideally get a couple nice drives in there, and then pull them?
Well, I think the 8% chance is kind of a big deal. Like, I think that's what they would do if there was like 0% chance. But I think playing for the 8% chance if maybe we get the wild card if we lose next week is pretty important.
Okay. So you think the Jaguars are going to go all out. Now the Texans have sneakily, we've all penciled them as the number 1 pick, right? Tyler's wishing that they don't take Bryce Young. I'm telling him he's crazy. There's no way they're passing on the kid. Even with Mel Kiper Jr. trying to say Will Levis is the best in the draft. What did you think about that, Kurt? If you were the Texans, what quarterback would you want out of this draft?
So I hate Will Levis, but just kind of a cover my own ass here, but I also hated Josh Allen. I watched a couple Wyoming games. I guess I watched the wrong ones. I thought Josh Allen was going to be the biggest bust of all time.
I didn't think he was going to be that good either, so I'll take my L there.
So maybe the fact that I absolutely loathe Will Levis, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that means he is going to be good.
But who would you take? Bryce Young, right?
Yeah, I'm not like Will Levis is going to get talked to just because Josh Allen became so successful. Like, who's to say Will Levis is going to have Brian Dable to nurture him and turn him into a fucking animal? Brian Dable did a lot for Josh Allen. He had all the raw tools, but like, if Will Levis doesn't have that kind of coach, he's done in a year. He's done in a year or two. He's done. He has to have a coach that will develop him, and not just some random NFL coach. He needs like a Ryan Dable type guy.
You still didn't answer. Who are you drafting? Number one, you're on the clock. You need a quarterback. Who are you drafting?
From the Giants, I take Will Levis because I know what Brian Dable's track record there. But
the Giants aren't going to have the number one pick.
Okay, give me Bryce Young. Okay.
All right. How about what do you think of CJ Stroud?
I'm sorry, but can we talk about look at how Josh Allen has looked without Brian Dable this year? Like, can we talk about how much he is influential to Josh Allen's success? I'm sure Josh Allen's going to be fine, but like, I love that guy.
Yeah, actually, I say we could do it when we talk about him, but that's the Monday night game, and I won't have you here. Oh, yeah, sorry. Josh Allen's thrown a lot of interceptions this year.
A lot of dumb ones.
A lot of interceptions.
Yeah.
He kind of gets a pass because he's so much fun. The other thing I don't like about what that Buffalo Bills team is doing, I'm worried they're going to Cam Newton this guy. Look at Cam Newton's arm strength in 2016 compared to the end of the year. Don't tell me that's from him getting older. Because if you're just not taking hits like a baseball player, your arm doesn't disintegrate like that. That's from getting tackled over and over, taking those hits over and over, putting your shoulder down, running into linebackers over and over. They're too Josh Allen dependent. This guy's gonna be rough by the time he's 30 or 31 if they continue to play this style. So
yeah. What was your question you asked before that? Sorry.
We're talking about the Jaguars and the Texans. Tyler and I hate laying -4 on the road. Texans, they might need to lose. The reason we were talking about the draft pick is because we've all penciled the Texans in. But technically, if they were to win, what are they right now? They're 2 and whatever. The Bears have 3 wins, but they have the tie. The Bears would be worse if the Bears lost out and the Texans won out. So they technically kind of need to lose this game to make sure they get the number 1 pick. Do you think that even plays into it all? I mean, Davis Mills and Lovie Smith don't care. They're not going to be there anyways. You know, Davis Mills not going to be excited about getting his thing. Do you think that plays into it all? Tyler and I hate laying the 4 on the road, but it seems like the only way to approach this one.
Yeah, it feels gross, but I think I will be too. I think it's just too, like, Texans want to lose, Jags want to win. So, yeah.
The other thing is Texans have beaten the Jaguars like 7 straight times.
Not to mention the Texans have looked good, so.
They covered 3 in a row.
Boy, Davis Mills, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Give me the
Jags. The D lineman from Texas Tech is nasty. He's an over Will Anderson, huh?
Wow.
Have you seen him? I haven't watched Texas
Tech guy? I have not.
Okay.
I've watched Tech, but I'm only watching offense.
How would you feel if you had to block Will Anderson?
Probably shit my pants. He'd probably bull rush me into infinity.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm just I'm just disintegrate.
All right. The total there is 43 in this game. Do you think the Texans will be able to put up points? I think that's if you're playing this total, you have to basically make a stand. Will the Texans be able to move the ball on this Jaguars offense? Over the last 3 or 4 years, they've been able to.
I think they can.
In that case, I think you play over.
Yeah, I'll lean the over.
I think the Texans team total is completely correlated to the total.
That's something I'm going to be adding.
They're going
to be adding them in the same game parlay. Yeah. I'll lean with that.
Okay. Chicago Bears are +6 in Detroit taking on the Lions. This is one that I always say be careful on, right? Because everyone will say, well, the Lions need to win, and the Bears don't care. Well, the Lions wouldn't need to win if they were really good, right? The Buffalo Bills don't need to win. The San Francisco 49ers don't need to win. The Lions need to win to stay alive. So now this line's moved to -6. Here's the thing, though. Since the trades of Roquan and who's the other guy? Robert Quinn, they've had the worst defense in the NFL statistically. I mean, they just gave away their whole defense. So the Lions at home on a fast track against a defense who has not performed well since they lost their 2 best players. Surprise. I'm not really sure how to approach this game. What are your thoughts here as the Detroit Lions are -6 against the Chicago Bears?
Pass for me. I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. And the over-under is not really something I want to mess with either, honestly, even though I love the game for DFS. But, like, I don't know. I don't have a good read on this game. Can't lie.
All right.
Not gonna
Projections told me to lay it. Projections tell me to lay it. Maybe that's what we'll end up doing here.
That's the case. Fields is going to go nuke.
Talk to me about the DFS implications, how you approach your game. When it's obviously going to be popular, how do you approach it in your builds? Are you going to load it up, good chalk, get different just by your different punts or leaving salary on the board? Or do you try and get different there, maybe and target different games? And specifically for this week's slate, how are you going to do that, Kurt?
I mean, I think we got to at least go back and target just how bad this Detroit. The floodgates are open, So I definitely will have some interest in Montgomery, and he didn't have many carries last week, but he's just now getting back in the rhythm of thing. 4K Khalil Herbert might be a way to get different in the game stack here. I kind of like that. He did average like 1 yard per carry last week, but I mean, he's just now getting worked back into the stuff. He's been out for so long, so I will flirt with him. Like some Montgomery, I just want to attack Panthers ran all over them. It was a disgrace, and even if they do half of that, that'll be enough for me. As far as everyone else, they said they're going to give Jameson Williams more targets. So let's see if that's true. If it is, my Lord, this is the secondary to do it against. He's also, I mean, you have 2 4K guys. I low key will start like my game stack. I could start it with Herbert and Jameson Williams. I don't mind. That's 2 4K guys too. So a lot of stuff to do here. I mean, you all will hear about it as the weeks go on. As the week goes on, this is the nut game. So just a couple, I guess Herbert kind of like the off the wall play for me.
All right, there you have it. That's how he's approaching that Bears-Lions game that we know is going to be popular. How about this question? Is Fields the next best running QB since RG3 and Vic? What do you think?
Yeah, I could say that. I mean, what about the Lamar die or something?
Yeah, I know.
R.I.P. Lamar. Poor guy. He's about to win a Super Bowl next year with Miami. We're just forgetting about him.
What is that? No, they're going to franchise him.
He called me before the show started and said, I'm going to Miami. I'm going home. I'm bringing the championship home.
Did you guys go get Carl's Jr.? Because I heard one of the reasons the Ravens are not happy with him is his diet's absolutely atrocious.
They'll fix it.
They said he was like some Iverson stuff. Like they. So here's a funny story. So Iverson hated.
He does have a big face. That's where all the sodium goes.
Allen Iverson hated conditioning, and they would joke that he would go buy like 12 Jack in the Box tacos before the weight room and like just stuff them all down his throat and make himself throw up so he didn't have to lift weights every day.
Oh, God.
Talk about dedication to avoid.
So was it the fact that Lamar wasn't running much because of contract stuff this year, or was it because he was just holding down like a bunch of Carl's Jr. or whatever the hell it is? He's like, I don't want to do too much cardio.
How much do you think Lamar not playing right now is that contract stuff? I mean, do you think if you're sitting there on 160 million guaranteed, he'd get out there?
I don't know.
It sucks because we're playing.
I mean, like they're in a good position though, so it's like, man,
what's up?
They're in a good position though. Like, I mean, they kind of. It would be different if they're fighting for a playoff spot, but they're pretty like, aren't they? Haven't they already clinched or very close to clinching? I think they've already clinched. Yeah, so it's like,
okay, they can actually still win the South if the Bengals were to lose out and they were to win out, or the AFC North. So okay, I like the Lions -6 here. Screw it. I know it sucks, but whatever. The Miami Dolphins are +2.5 in New England, taking on the Patriots. Total is 41. Kurt. Travis and I originally had a bet on this game, and if he lost, he was going to have to watch an old movie because I was trying to convince all you younger kids that good things happened before you were born, and we can learn about history and we can learn about life before we were here, and it enriches our lives. But I let him off the hook because Tua is not in the game. So now it's Teddy Bridgewater +2.5. Teddy Bridgewater caused Travis to chicken out on our bet because I said, the Dolphins can't play in the cold. They're not going to beat the Patriots against Belichick and that great defense. The market agrees. I think if Tua was playing, this would be a pick 'em, right? So they probably downgraded about 2.5. Why are you laughing? You disagree?
I feel like you should at least be. I mean, it's Tua, but like it's kind of sad he's not even worth 3 or 3.5. Like, what was it? What was like when Josh Allen was not going to play one of the game? Wasn't it like? I mean, he's not Josh Allen, but wasn't it like 5 or 6?
Yeah, I mean that's terrible. That's terrible.
Well, take half of that, so that would be 3.5.
You're talking about one of the best cute quarterbacks in the league, right?
So cut it in half.
Top 5 quarterback, and Tua, who is, I mean, talk about a product of a system.
He was concussed at the last game. Come on now, he didn't know where the fuck he was. He was just like, "Fuck it, someone's over here in the flat. Fuck it."
Yeah, I mean,
Whew.
yeah, and hey, that's going to be interesting for Miami going forward because I don't think you can build around him now.
Yeah, but they're getting Lamar, so it doesn't matter.
They're not getting Lamar. He's getting franchised.
I'm going to franchise you, Spread. How about that?
Oh,
You're coming to me.
Oh, I love that. All right.
Where are you leaning at this game?
Franchise me in our geography classes.
Oh God, I kind of want to take the 2. Can't lie, I kind of want to take the 2. I don't think Teddy's that bad.
Okay, we don't think Teddy's that bad, but he hasn't been that good this year.
No, he's not.
This year he hasn't been that good. We're thinking about all those other years where he was Teddy 2 gloves, Teddy covers.
He's been able to get the ball to like Tyreek and Jalen. So for DFS, I'm down with that. I don't really have. It's just my lean. Dolphins +2. Don't really have a great feel for it. Kind of like the under in this one too, to be honest with you. But I wonder what the weather's going to be like in New England. It is winter. Any weather concerns here?
I mean, obviously it's going to be cold, but it's not like last week.
It's where those 2 gloves are coming handy, baby.
How about this one, though? I think this is a great teaser spot for Miami. New England doesn't have any blowout potential. Talk about overrated quarterbacks. Mac Jones.
What would you get?
You'd get it up to 8.5.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
New England can't blow anyone out.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to see.
JC says 52 and sunny there, so it's not even that cold. Weren't you guys all dying on the East Coast last week? Now it's 52. Unbelievable. We're getting rain here in California. Love it. Love to see it. Yeah, I think if anything, I would just tease this game. I'll take the +8.5. If I am taking a side, though, I'll lay it with the Patriots. I think it lands right in between.
Right. Charbonnet's out for UCLA. If anyone has NCAA lineups, so I'm gonna go edit that. Say what you just said one more time while I do this. Sorry.
I'd say I really like the teaser, and I'll probably end up betting that. But if
I'm with the teaser, I'm going to end up.
But for like a pick'em league, or you pick everyone, I think Patriots -2.5 is the play, and I think the game falls between like 2.5 and 8.5, basically.
Yeah,
Patriots win. It's a close one, 1-score game.
Yeah, I like that. I like the teaser even more, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's a great game to tease. Maybe we'll make a teaser on the show. What else would I do? Knock the Eagles down. Fuck yeah. Is there anything else we like? I don't want to tease the Browns, do I? The Steelers. That's the one I want to do. Okay.
It's your boys.
Yeah, dude. That's another one, right? Like they're not gonna lose by 8, are they? That game's gonna be like 16-13. I just don't know who's gonna win. Denver Broncos are +13 in Kansas City taking on the Chiefs. Total of 45. Kurt, the Broncos quit on national TV last week. Have you ever been on a team that quit like that?
No, that was bad.
I wonder what it's like on the sideline.
They were fighting too and stuff. They ended up making up like 10 minutes later, but my goodness gracious, how crazy was that?
I mean, it wasn't crazy to me. You got one guy making $40 million and he can't do his job. Your whole defense is making $40 million combined. I mean, I'm exaggerating here, right? A little.
I was surprised Ripien came to his defense. I mean, I guess that's kind of how it goes. But
you have to, right? I mean, don't those guys spend like 50 hours in that quarterback room together a week?
Oh yeah, they basically, yeah. I mean, they're with each other constantly.
Like, even if I knew you were wrong, but I spend 50 hours a week with you, Kurt.
Thank you.
Like, your girlfriend comes over and, she accuses you of cheating. And I know that you were with the other girl last night, but I'm be like, no, he was with me. Like, no, we were hanging out, I mean, I got to stick up for my boy, but even if I knew you were wrong afterwards, Kurt, I'd be like, you got to keep this stuff on the low, Kurt. I can't keep doing this for you, but
take it easy.
You got to stick it up for your boy.
Exactly.
How do you approach this one? So Holden, right, real plugged in with Denver. We did the wishbone, and I asked him specifically, I said, do you think this team quit for the year, or was this a one-time thing? He says he thinks it's a one-time thing. They should be up for this game. We should be getting the normal Denver defense, in which case I would say take the plus 13. Now, am I running to bet it? No. Am I fine staying away from this game? Yes. But I would rather take the plus 13 than lay it here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like the whole narrative. I like how a couple of the guys came to his defense. I think it was Judy and then the offensive lineman who always false starts.
AJ Hamler tweeted something out last night I saw too.
Hamler, and then the dude who gets holding penalties like a motherfucker out of Utah, the right guard or left guard, something like that. But he came to his defense. I always like the narrative about how the coach is fired, and I don't think the Chiefs are going to beat us again in 2 weeks back to back. I think the Broncos are going to cover here, baby. Let's go. I like that. I always like the coaching narrative.
It's not let's go. Let's ride.
Oh, I can't.
Let's ride.
Nope.
All right. But we're not really betting this, right? This is just for people in pick and pools, right? We're not really betting.
Look, I remember when everyone said the Colts and Raiders, and everyone said, no, you can't bet. I did.
Okay.
It's a completely different team. So
you're gonna hit plus 13 on the Denver Broncos right now. Like right as soon as we get off the show.
Yep. I'm gonna do it.
That's why Kurt is the man.
I'm 1-0 on the coaching narratives, on the coach changing narratives. So give me that.
Oh, the new coach bump, right? That usually does pretty well.
Yeah, and who is the interim? I don't even know.
I don't even know either. I know the defensive coordinator turned it down.
What the hell?
I think he's just thinking like, why would I ruin my reputation?
Yeah.
Like, why would I?
I will bet. I will bet.
Start my career with an 0-2 in the book, right?
Give me them points.
All right. So Kurt likes the Broncos plus 13. I like not betting, watching, or paying attention to this game. The Indianapolis Colts, right? We just talked about them, Kurt. Plus 6 against the New York Giants in a game with a total of 39, man. Oh, man. That's a lot of points for a Giants offense. So let's be honest, isn't that high-powered. This line opened at 3.5, and it moved. I'm assuming that's quarterback news. Who's the quarterback there this week? Are they going back to Sam Ehlinger?
No. He said they're riding with Foles. I mean, Foles. Dude, Foles was just lobbing it up there. Like, what was that? That's the worst I've ever seen. Like, some guys just they don't see.
How many reps do you think he's taking all year? Like, how much does the third string guy take?
It doesn't mean like. He was just lobbing it up there, like just. I mean, and not just like let me give my guy a chance. No, he was just like under. Oh, I don't know. It was the worst I've ever seen, dude. It was so bad. I think maybe his arm shot. I don't know what it is, but I don't think he can throw darts at all. Like I don't even think you can get like a dart or two out of him. I think it's just shot.
So you like the Giants minus 6?
Yeah, give me the Giants here.
Yeah, I think this is a tough one to get involved with too. There's so many. So
that's how you beat the Giants. Like you beat them through the air, and Foles, he is cooked chicken nuggets.
Especially if you're like me and you really rely on your projections. So many of these are just wacky this week, right?
The G-Man. How does he do that? The G-Man.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
All right. Total of 39. Do you think this goes over or under?
Oh, God, that's gross. Kind of leaning the over, though. Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good at all. There's a lot of really bad games on the schedule. This next game, though, I think is interesting. This is an interesting game. The New York Jets are minus 1.5. They're heading to Seattle, taking on the Seahawks. Total of 43. Okay. Now, both these teams, right, earlier in the year, great stories, right? The New York Jets have continued to play well. The Seahawks have not. I want to call back to an earlier statement you made about this time of the year. And I also want to talk about how rookie dependent the Seattle Seahawks team is. The Seattle Seahawks had a great draft. They had a lot of guys that are contributing, but these guys are all rookies. They're used to playing that 10, 12 game season. And you were just told us, right? Even in college, by week 11, week 12, these guys are beat up.
Yeah.
I think it's possible that the Seahawks team, they hit the rookie wall. And that's why over the last 5 weeks, they're a bottom 5 team in the NFL after they were the feel-good story of the NFL. And it was so much fun. Geno, Pete Carroll, Kenneth Walker, Lockett and DK still getting loose. You know, all this optimism in Seattle. And I still think that it's warranted. But in hindsight, to me, I guess it's not surprising when you're so rookie dependent, especially in key positions such as the defense and offensive line, that having that many rookies, you can kind of hit a cliff and just be terrible. Because if you sort by last 5, this is the bottom 5 team in the league. I want to go for the Seahawks because, I like Pete Carroll as a coach, right? I like what's going on up there. I think it's really fun that they were able to trade away Russ and still be relevant, when everyone had written them off for the dead. At the same time, the Jets are a much better football team. But this also feels like the game, right, Kurt, where you said like nothing makes sense? I've listened, I love these podcasts. I read articles. Everybody's on the Jets. Everybody's on the Jets, right? Doesn't this seem like this could be the one that doesn't make any sense and the Seahawks get the win?
That's why I'm going to take it. Mike White's back. I'm sure he'll look good. But if he plays good, I'll take the over. So give me the over 42.5 and give me the Seahawks +2.
All right. I want to join you there. It's one of those ones where it's like, hey, we can do projections. We can think through things. But sometimes we got to know that these things don't make sense. And maybe the Seahawks aren't as bad as they've looked the last couple weeks. To get up for this one, it should be rocking in Seattle, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're back home.
That's a tough trip.
You're gonna give me.
I think it really comes down to, are they going to be able to establish the run? Right.
Establish it. I think they will be able to.
Yeah. All right. We get to talk about my team. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. The San Francisco 49ers are -9.5 in Las Vegas, taking on the Raiders. I'm surprised the Raiders took money. When we talked about this on Wednesday night on the Wishbone, the Raiders were 10, and I said, hey, I'm going to wait. I think you can go to 10.5, right? And I don't need to bet it. How do you think that this affects the team, right? The news with Derek Carr. What do you think Derek Carr's future is? Does it fracture the locker room? He was popular. Regardless of what we think about him, he's always been popular with his teammates. As a Raiders fan, I know that.
Let me tell you something. We'll take him in Tampa.
Well, I know you will. There's a ton of teams that will take him. He would look great in Pittsburgh. He would look good in New York.
Don't wait for this defense. And then let's get rid of Todd Bowles. And I'm not touching this game. I don't know what the fuck to do.
I'm fine not touching it either because I think there could be some more sit-outs. Like, what if Devontae Adams sits? Yeah, that's his boy. That's the whole reason he went to Las Vegas.
This is a complete cross-off for DFS and probably everything for me right now.
Talk to me about the locker room, though. How do you think that affects the locker room?
I mean, the season's over. It's not really that big of a deal. It's just give this guy a chance.
So you don't think that, the people that love Carr are going to be pissed? You think they still go out, give 100%, and... Yeah,
I mean, if this happened early in the year, yes, but, it's a business. Everyone knows that. Yeah, he's been there forever. What does he really accomplish? I think he's a lot better than what the record shows. I know he does do some late game interceptions, but it's not like the defense has ever helped him too much. So, it's just a business. It's late in the season. It's let's evaluate this guy.
Monte's going to be out there just running routes with full abandon and trying to get open for Jared.
It'll just be like the Hopkins situation with McSorley's. Though, as far as his attitude's going to be fine. I'm sure he'll get a little salty about how he can't get the ball.
What do you think is Stidham? I'm trying to think of the times that I've seen him.
He can run.
I don't think he looked good in preseason. I don't think he looked good in New England.
Yeah, he can scramble a little bit. He had that 70-yard touchdown run in the preseason, but nothing major.
All right. Man, I was hoping for more insight there, Kurt, but I guess you're saying it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm way overblowing it because I'm a Raiders fan and I've consumed a ton of media about this over the past week. So, hey, sometimes I need guys like Kurt to teach me some geography and bring me back to bases and not play into my media narratives too much. This game's going to be fun.
I mean, it's a good thing for Carr, too. He's going to be gone at the end. Yeah, it's not – they're not doing a big disservice. They're going to probably find a better home. I'm sure he wants to stay in Vegas, but
how do you think Tom Brady's going to do as quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders next year?
I don't know, but y'all can take him.
Would you be surprised if that happened?
His arm's still there. The arm is still there.
And if he goes back to that McDaniels offense, I mean, they're already going to walk in and it's going to be we know exactly what to do. McDaniels isn't going to micromanage him. It's the system he wants to run. Darren Waller will probably go back to being awesome. He'll be looking like rehab Gronk.
Y'all better get that. Y'all better get your offensive line to be top 5. Or
I don't think that line's that bad though. I think the guys did a great job. I can't remember the name, but the offensive line coach that McDaniels brought over.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to point to any positives from this season, they took a line with really not a lot of talent as far as throwing 3rd-round picks and 4th-round picks, and they've actually got them to perform pretty well. I don't think the line's been the issue with this team.
No, I was just referencing the Bucs offensive line, all the injuries we've had and shit.
And that's not even the GM's fault, right? I mean, he built a nice offensive line, but what'd you lose? 4 of your top 5 training camp starters?
Yeah, so center went down training camp. We lost 1 guard to Cincinnati. Worfs has been in and out. Donovan Smith's been out. Our Josh Wells, who is like our platoon guy who can play every position, is usually always in the lineup because someone's hurt. He's gone. It's a mess, dude.
I spoke too soon about that dog not barking. Minnesota Vikings are +3. They're in Green Bay in the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Packers laying 3 points here. It was 3.5 at some points. 48 here. This is another interesting game, man. I think these are 2 teams that are overvalued. And I'd been on Minnesota, and they burned me a couple times. I know against Detroit they burned us, and then they burned us against Indianapolis when we expected there to be a bounce back spot. But I don't know, man. I'm not necessarily buying that the Packers are that good.
Yeah, no. This is one of those yards per play thing that JJ loves to talk about. The Packers are like almost dead last in their little win streak they have. So give me the Vikings in the frozen tundra. +3.
You think they do well outside, huh? That's my main worry is the dome team going outdoors.
No, I'm not worried about it. They'll be all right. They'll be good.
All right.
+2,
winning
baby.
team. I'm gonna have to go ahead and I'm gonna tell you to turn into the NBA rundown. That'll be on as soon as we're done. And AP and I will answer that. We'll be doing NBA here in 5 minutes. Kurt and I got to blaze through these last 2 games to be on time. So you like the Vikings +3. What about that total? Do you think this game goes over?
I'm not touching it. That seems a pretty good set line. Okay. 48, yeah.
Los Angeles Rams and Baker Mayfield coming off the huge win. -109 with the +6 in Los Angeles taking on the Chargers. Total of 42. I show an edge to the Chargers here. And I liked it because here's my idea, right? The Rams got that big win. They're feeling good. It was national TV. Now they're back at home. And maybe you can correct me here, right? But they're both in Los Angeles. One team has something to get ready for. The other team says, it's Saturday night. It's New Year's Eve. I got a bunch of money. I'm young and good looking, right? It just feels to me like the hangover potential for the Rams is so much higher there than for the Chargers. Can you imagine these guys out there doing a night of Molly and Blow? We're out there trying to cover Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. So I like the Chargers here. Do you think I'm overplaying this little party narrative angle?
Chargers, my God, have they just – give me the Chargers here. I think this little run for the Rams comes to an end. I think they hit reality. I'll lay the points. Give me the Chargers.
I think so too. Like it's not too hard to beat a team that quits, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I think they're kind of just be like, yeah. I'm with you on that.
I think Baker comes back to earth here, and I don't know if the Rams' offensive line is going to be able to open up enough holes to be able to run on the Chargers, which we know is the way to beat that defense. So I like laying the points with the Chargers there. This Cardinals line moved to 4.5 while we were talking. Did something happen?
I didn't get a notification.
Oh,
I mean, Michael Cole
yeah.
Huh?
It's David Blau starting now. Michael
for the
Terrell,
Cardinals?
Thank you. Yeah.
But Cole McCoy cleared protocols.
I guess he didn't. He says he's out.
What the hell?
This is from our guy Michael Terrell.
I guess so take it.
You didn't bet that yet, did you?
No.
Stay away.
Damn.
Stay away. I want to bet it now. Would you?
The Falcons 4.5.
The Cardinals was 4.5.
You like Blau?
No. But you were going to take +3 or +3.5, right?
Huh?
With the Cardinals? Well, we talked about that game earlier.
That's why I thought Cole McCoy was starting.
Yeah, but now I'm saying don't take it, right?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm staying away.
Yeah, stay away from that.
Yeah.
All right. Sunday night football. The Pittsburgh Steelers +2 in Baltimore taking on the Ravens. Kurt, did you see the total for this game? 34.5, bro. That's like a first half total in college.
Hey, it's up to 35 on DK.
Okay, up to 35. What are your thoughts here when the Steelers take on the Ravens?
Back to that Steelers game. I thought Pickett looked pretty decent, but on the road, oh man, fuck it. Give me Steelers 2.5. I'll take the road.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna put them in that teaser. I think that's.
I don't really.
I made a 3-teamer with Philly and Miami, and then I made a 2-teamer that's just Pittsburgh and Philly. So those are my 2 favorite ones. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, regardless. And
it's always. I mean, no matter who's playing, it is always nice to have the. I mean, these two. Like, it's a great rivalry. Seems like it's always decent. At least there's some hard hits or something.
Yeah. So, yeah, Tomlin does well against the Ravens and does well on primetime. I think these Steelers will be ready to go. To me, it's Steelers or pass. You said take the Steelers. So, hey, we're doing pretty good. We'll be off in time. We'll start the NBA rundown next. Real quick, Kurt, give you props. That was the only game I missed last night. 4-1 night on the NBA.
Really?
But you had me, right? Your Grizzlies. They got it done against the Raptors. So
yeah, I thought Cleveland had it, and then
Adam Schefter said that Colt McCoy experienced more symptoms, so he's out now. Thanks, Michael. Obviously, when we're doing the show, I'm not all over Twitter or wherever you got that update. We appreciate that, and that makes sense because I just noticed, hey, this line's moving while we're talking. So, Kurt, we've gone through the whole Sunday slate. Go ahead, give us your favorite spend up for the slate, and give us the best bet.
Oh shit! Favorite spend up. Let me go here real quick. Oh, my best bet. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna throw in the Cardinals there, but screw it.
See, good thing that news came out. Otherwise,
I'm gonna go the under in the Bucks game, under 40, and then
under 40 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, let's see. It's loading. Hold on. I had to do some EuroLeague pivots.
EuroLeague pivots, love it.
Favorite spend up. Oof.
All right. Well, you do that. My best bet.
Give me Barkley. Give me Barkley versus the Colts.
Saquon Barkley. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
My best bet is going to be. I hate laying 6, but I'm going to take the Detroit Lions, man. I think this is a great opportunity for them to bounce back, and I really like how that offense is going to be able to perform back at home on the turf. The quickness. I think they overwhelmed the Bears, and we saw it last week. I don't think this Bears team quit against the Bills. I just simply think they're not good. But you watch that defense out there. They were flying around. They were trying to make plays. The Bills just overwhelmed them. And I know the Lions are nowhere near the caliber of team that the Bills are. But still, I do think that offense is really good. In that, last 6-2 game win streak, they are top 5 in EPA for the offense, right? So the offense is humming. And I just don't think that Bears defense, they got rid of too many good players. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up. Lions bounce back. Give me the Detroit Lions -6. Kurt's best bet is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers under 40.5. And he says, spend up for not Charles, Saquon Barkley. Kurt, words of wisdom before we sign off. Oh, wait.
So,
let's answer this question. Quick question. With how well Tyreek has done with Teddy this year, do you like him over Justin Jefferson?
Waddle had a good game with him too. In the two games, you had Tyreek go off in one and Waddle go off in the other. So
I just think that Belichick's going to scheme to take away Tyreek.
I like Waddle.
And I just think you can't scheme away to take away Jefferson.
I like Waddle if you're picking a Miami guy, but yeah, give me Jefferson. And then if you want
Jefferson,
Miami,
and then because you can't run Jefferson and Tyreek at the same time, you might be able to run Waddle and Jefferson, but you're not going to be able to run Barkley. So maybe Waddle Barkley is the way to go, and you just avoid that high spend.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Kurt, words of wisdom before we sign off.
So I got tested. Fortunately, I am positive for the cold sore virus. Gotcha. Yeah, so I do not have genital herpes.
I was all worried, man.
Yeah, trust me, when I got the results, like, oh, fuck. And then I talked to the consultant. They're like, oh, no, it's non-genital herpes. I was like, oh, well, I get cold sores like once every 2 months. So that makes sense. So all good. Time to get back to fucking tonight. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's all good. All good no-go over here. So everyone make sure you go out and get tested. Oral herpes. Yep. Apparently like 80% of the population has it. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. All right. So for any female viewers watching, Kurt will be looking for 2 young ladies to spend Saturday night with him, and then maybe escort them to the Washington Commanders Cleveland Brown game. So if you're interested, go ahead and hit up Kurt. Guys, like the video. We're here every Friday talking touchdowns. Subscribe to the channel. Run Pure.